Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Saturday, March 4, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Louisville vs Virginia. As bad as Louisville has been this season, I am not interested in fading the Cardinals on Saturday afternoon. They played Virginia very close in the first meeting, and the Cavaliers are having to deal with the disappointment of not contending for an ACC title. They have only covered the spread once in their last 5 games, while Louisville has covered in 6 of its last 9 games. The Cardinals are going to be motivated to finish the regular season on a strong note, whereas Virginia is going to lack motivation to win this game in blowout fashion. This spread is too large, especially with Virginia's slow tempo. Our team pick is Louisville plus 19 points. Louisville will be excited to get across the finish line at this point, as it has gone through one of the worst seasons in ACC history. The Cardinals have lost 17 of their 19 conference games, with their lone wins coming against Georgia Tech and Clemson, which both happened to come last month. They have lost 3 straight games since beating Clemson, falling to Duke, Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech by double digits. One of their only bright spots this year has been the play of senior guard Will Ellis, who is the second leading scorer in the ACC. He scored 28 points in the win against Clemson and is averaging 17.8 points overall. Virginia dropped back-to-back games against Boston College and North Carolina near the end of February, but it bounced back with a 64-57 win over Clemson on Tuesday. The Cavaliers had won 11 of their previous 12 games before losing to Boston College, with one of those wins being a 61-58 final at Louisville in the middle of February. They are heading into Saturday's slate tied with Miami and Pittsburgh for first place in the ACC standings. However, the Hurricanes and Panthers will meet on Saturday, and they both own the head-to-head tiebreaker against Virginia. Duke and Clemson are both 1 game behind, so there could be plenty of movement before the conference tournament next week. Our total pick is over the total. Tennessee vs Auburn. February was a slog for both teams, especially after that first meeting back on February 4, where points were at a premium. The Volunteers dropped 4 of their next 5 games before winning their last 2 heading into this one. You have to be concerned about what the Volunteers to do to replace Ziegler in the lineup. On the other side, Auburn has dropped 5 of 7 since that 3-point loss in Knoxville and just blew a 17-point lead against Alabama on the road. The Tigers have to be rattled at this point with their confidence shot. It's tough to back a reeling team like the Tigers, even at home here. Tennessee's defense does the job and carries the Volunteers to another tough win as they continue to try righting the ship ahead of the SEC tournament. Our team pick is Tennessee Volunteers minus 1.5 points. Tennessee won their second straight game as they took down Arkansas at home in their previous contest. The Volunteers improved to 22-8 overall and stand tied for 3rd in the SEC with an 11-6 mark in conference play. Against Arkansas, Tennessee scored the game's first 7 points and never trailed in the game. The Volunteers led by 9 at the half and didn't let the Razorbacks closer than 7 the rest of the way as they pulled away down the stretch. Tennessee shot an even 50% from the floor, including 4 of 16 from 3-point range, and held Arkansas to 36.7% from the field. Olivier Camhow led the Volunteers with 16 points in the victory, though it came with a price. Zakai Ziegler suffered a torn ACL in the game and was lost for the season. Auburn dropped their 2nd straight and their 6th in the last 8 games as they blew a big lead while falling to number 2 Alabama. The Tigers fell to 19-11 overall and stand 7th in the conference with a 9-8 mark on the season. Against Alabama, Auburn led 10-2 out of the gate by as many as 12 in the first half and by 7 at intermission. The Tigers were up 17, with 10:27 remaining in regulation, only to get outscored 26-9 the rest of regulation to send the game to overtime. Auburn gave up a 7-2 run to start the extra session and never got closer than 2 the rest of the way. The Tigers shot 46% from the field, including 12 of 20 from three-point range, but missed 9 of 24 free throws, while turning the ball over 18 times. KD Johnson led the Tigers with 21 points off the bench in the loss. Our total pick is under the total. Kansas State vs West Virginia. There's something to be said about the laggard Mountaineers being a two-possession favorite over the Wildcats. Morgantown is no easy place to play, and West Virginia at home is a different beast than on the road. What will separate the Mountaineers apart here will be their ability to control the glass and, in essence, the painted area. Second chance points should come at a frequent level here, as West Virginia leads the conference offensively, and the Wildcats have allowed opposition to convert shots at a higher rate in the key. Lastly, in a game that is slated to be close, the Mountaineers have gone to the line at a conference-leading rate and are top 100 in terms of free throw percentage. Take the Mountaineers at home in a revenge game. Our team pick is West Virginia -4 points. Each of these teams like to play fast, and the Wildcats have the fastest tempo in the conference. The last time they squared off the game featured 75 possessions, and we should expect to see that again here. The Wildcats protect the ball very well and should be able to generate shots on a high number of possessions. West Virginia has been able to keep possessions alive via offensive rebounding and superior interior scoring. The play is the over 149.5 points. Kentucky vs Arkansas. The Razorbacks split their last 4 games, but they have played well at home, where they have won 5 of their last 6 games. They have played well offensively at home, scoring more than 76 points per game, while making 49% of their shots. They rebound the ball well and they're aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring chances. They also cut back on their turnovers in recent games and won't give the Wildcats a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Wildcats have played well defensively this season, but they haven't been as efficient on the road, giving up more than 72 points per game. They gave up 88 points at home to the Razorbacks in their first meeting and will have a hard time slowing them down once again. The Wildcats have won 4 of their last 5 games. They have struggled offensively on the road, scoring less than 70 points per game. They've struggled at the charity stripe, making only 70% of their free throws. Their rebounding has been good and will keep them in this game, but they are careless with the ball on the road, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Razorbacks, who average more than 9 steals per game at home. The Razorbacks are very good defensively, and they've been dominant at home, holding opponents to 60 points per game, so expect them to keep Kentucky's offense in check. Go with Arkansas to cover the spread. Our team pick is Arkansas Razorbacks -4.5 points. Kentucky has gone under in 2 of their last 3 games. The Razorbacks have gone over in 3 of the last 4, but were held to only 57 points by Tennessee on Tuesday. Arkansas and Kentucky currently rank 80th and 240th in pace of play respectively. Most signs point to a lower scoring affair. Look for this game to go under 145.5 points. Loyola Chicago vs LaSalle. The Explorers have lost 4 straight games, but they've won 3 of their last 4 home games. They don't have a high-scoring offense, but they play better at home where they are scoring more than 69 points per game. They've taken advantage of their opportunities at the charity stripe, making over 72% of their free throws at home. They rebound the ball well and they're aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring chances. They also do a good job protecting the ball and won't give the Ramblers a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Ramblers have struggled defensively, especially on the road where they are giving up more than 73 points per game, so expect them to have a hard time slowing down the Explorers in this game. The Ramblers have lost 4 straight games in 8 of their last 9 road games. They have struggled offensively on the road, scoring less than 65 points per game. They've also struggled at the charity stripe, making less than 70% of their free throws on the road. They don't rebound the ball as well as the Explorers and won't get a lot of extra scoring chances against them. They've also been careless with the ball on the road, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Explorers, who average more than 7 steals per game at home. The Explorers have played well defensively at home, holding opponents to 70 points per game, and won't have trouble keeping the Ramblers' offense in check. Go with LaSalle to cover the spread. Our team pick is LaSalle Explorers -3.5 points. In the last 10 games for both teams, the over is 5-5, or the under is 5-5. One stat to look at is both teams are poor free throw shooting squads. LaSalle shoots .691, which entering the weekend was 272nd, and Loyola Chicago shoots .688, which was 290th. This will keep the score down. In addition, both struggle to score easy points in transition, with LaSalle averaging 8.07 fast break points and Loyola Chicago 7.24. All signs point to a low-scoring game. Our total pick is under 140.5 points. Duquesne vs Fordham. The Rams have won 5 of their last 7 games and 5 straight home games. They have played well offensively at home, scoring more than 73 points per game. They've also taken advantage of their opportunities at the charity stripe, making over 77% of their free throws. They rebound the ball well, and they were very aggressive on the offensive glass in their last 3 games, which will lead to extra scoring chances. They also do a good job protecting the ball and won't give the Dukes a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Dukes usually play well defensively, but they've struggled on the road, giving up more than 76 points per game, so expect them to have a hard time slowing down the Rams in this game. The Dukes have won 6 of their last 8 games, but they've lost 3 of their last 5 road games. They have played well offensively on the road, scoring more than 76 points per game. They've struggled at the charity stripe, making less than 70% of their free throws on the road. They don't rebound the ball as well as the Rams and won't get a lot of extra scoring chances against them. They've also been careless with the ball on the road, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Rams, who average more than 7 steals per game at home. The Rams have played well defensively at home, holding opponents under 66 points per game, and won't have trouble keeping Duquesne's offense in check. Go with Fordham to cover the spread. Our team pick is Fordham Rams minus 1.5 points. Duquesne is playing well offensively recently, having averaged 82.75 in its last 4 games. Fordham has averaged just 66 points in its last 4 games overall, but has averaged 76 points in its last 4 home games. Both teams get easy points in transition. Duquesne averages 12.63 fast break points, which entering the weekend was 43rd nationally. Fordham has a more deliberate offense, but still averages 8.43 fast break points. Both do well in adjusted tempo. Fordham averages 69.9 possessions per 40 minutes, according to KenPom.com, which was 54th entering the weekend. Duquesne averages 68.3 possessions per 40 minutes, 140th. The over is 5-1 in Fordham's last 6 games overall. The over is 4-0 in Duquesne's last 4 road games. Take over 146 points. Troy vs James Madison. When diving into KenPom's adjusted efficiency margin, there is a bit of a difference here, as James Madison is 95th in the nation with a plus 7.34 rating, while Troy is 129th in college basketball with a plus 3.60 rating up to this point. There is a slight difference on the defensive side of the floor as of late, as Troy is giving up 74.8 points in their last 4 games, while James Madison is allowing 72.4 points in their previous 5 games. All in all, go with the James Madison Dukes to cover the spread here. Our team pick is James Madison Dukes minus 2.5 points. These are 2 of the better defensive teams when looking at their adjusted defensive rating this year from KenPom, as the Dukes are 67th in the sport with a 99.8 defensive rating, while the Trojans are 95th in the nation with a 101.7 rating so far. Both programs have been struggling a bit shooting the 3 this season, with James Madison is 110th in the nation with a 35.33 point percentage, while Troy is 303rd in the country with a 31.7 percentage from beyond the arc. The under has hit in 8 of the last 10 Trojans games, following a straight-up win, as well as in the previous 4 Dukes games played on a Saturday, so go with under 143.5 points here too. Georgia Tech vs Boston College. Taking Georgia Tech to cover their spread in this one for a couple of reasons. The early line movement has already seen this line move in Georgia Tech's direction, and for good reason. Georgia Tech has been hot as of late, covering 7 of their past 9 games. The Yellow Jackets have a slight edge on the offensive end, which I expect to bode well for them in this one. The last time these teams faced off, we saw the game go to overtime in a fast-paced and high-scoring game that went 26 points over their given total. The teams are also very similar on defense, with Boston College ranking slightly higher. In terms of trends, Georgia Tech has not only covered in their past 7 games, but they have also covered in their past 4 road games, and in their past 4 road games against a team with a winning record. For these reasons, I am confident in taking Georgia Tech to cover their spread. Our team pick is Georgia Tech plus 4 points. Taking the over in this one for the same reason I am taking Georgia Tech to cover their spread. I expect this to be a high-scoring affair considering the last time these teams faced off, they went 26 points over their total set at 134, hence why our spread for this game is considerably higher. Both teams average and allow about 70 points per game on the season, which makes me comfortable with the spread now being at 141. Both teams rank above average in terms of adjusted tempo according to NCAAB, meaning we can expect both teams to work quickly on both ends, resulting in more possessions, and in turn, more points. In terms of trends, Georgia Tech has gone over in their past 4 games, while Boston College has gone over in their past 4 home games against a team with a losing record, and have gone over in 6 of their past 8 games following and against the spread. For these reasons, I am confident in taking the over for this matchup. Our total pick is over 141 points. St. Bonaventure vs Massachusetts. Taking the Bonnies to cover their spread in this one for a couple of reasons. St. Bonaventure is the better team overall, ranking slightly better than Massachusetts in NCAAB's rankings. I believe the Bonnies' defense will be the determining factor in this one, with their defense holding opponents to under 70 points per game on the season, while shooting under 30% from deep. This should aid them in keeping the game close, building leads, and going on multiple runs throughout the game. In terms of trends, the Bonnies have covered in 4 of their past 5 Saturday games, while the Minutemen have failed to cover in 6 of their past 7 games, following an against the spread win, and have failed to cover in 8 of their past 10 games against a team with a losing record. For these reasons, I am confident in taking St. Bonaventure to cover their spread in this one. St. Bonaventure plus 2 points. Taking the under in this one for a couple of reasons. Neither team is denoted by their offense, with both teams ranking about 250th in terms of offensive efficiency, according to NCAAB. In addition, both teams are pretty average in terms of offensive efficiency, so we can expect a controlled pace of play throughout the game. Both teams average and allow about 70 points per game on the season, with the Bonnies averaging 67.4 points per game, while allowing 67.6, and the Minutemen averaging 70.8 points per game, while allowing 71.8. This puts our adjusted total in the upper 130s, just below our given total. In terms of trends, St. Bonaventure has gone under in 5 of their past 6 games following a win, and in 5 of their past 6 games on the road against a team with a winning home record, making me confident in taking the under for this matchup. Under 141 points. Monmouth vs Drexel. One of Monmouth's 7 wins this season came against Drexel back on February 4th in a 69-67 affair. Drexel earned a victory in the earlier meeting, smashing the Hawks 67-35 back on January 7th. Can the Hawks do the unthinkable and pull off the upset against the 5th-seeded Dragons? Well, I'm not sure if they can win outright, but I think they have a great chance to keep it inside of double digits. There are 2 key players that'll have a major impact on this game for Monmouth, and that's Miles Foster, 12.5 ppg, and Jack Collins, 10.1 ppg. Collins went off in the opener against Hampton, dropping 32 points while hitting 6 of his 8 triples, 75%. If he can stay hot, then the Hawks can definitely hang around in this one. As for Foster, he'll have a critical matchup with Amari Williams down low. Williams, 13.6 ppg, 8.8 rpg, has been a force all season, so if Foster can at least slow him down, Monmouth will be looking good. Our team pick is Monmouth Hawks plus 9.5 points. An additional reason why I like the Hawks, and as to why I'm locking in the under, is that I'm anticipating a slower-paced matchup on Saturday. If this game doesn't turn into a barnburner, the advantage goes to Monmouth. As for the total, obviously fewer possessions means fewer opportunities for points to pile up. Monmouth is about average in terms of tempo, using 68.5 possessions per 40 minutes, 134th. As for Drexel, they're very slow, using just 63.8 possessions per 40 minutes, 337th. Furthermore, Drexel is a defensive-minded team, holding opponents to just a 42.7% field goal percentage, 93rd. As for efficiency, they're giving up just 103.5 points per 100 possessions, 124th. I think we're in for a slower-paced, scrappy game where we see defense win the day. Give me the under in this CAA showdown. Our total pick is under 129 points.